Man, what's up?
I'm doing good. I have one of my best friends coming in today from
hmm
Coachella, and I'm gonna interview him. And we just had a conversation this morning. And he's like, "Man, I have like this person and this person that I'm bringing along so they can see this whole process." So it's gonna be awesome. So I'm excited about
Yeah.
that, and I've been working and prepping. But what about you? What's been going on this morning?
So let me give you my schedule here because I work late. I normally work late into the night.
Okay.
Um, so I kind of like my day don't start till about like 12 o'clock really. So
Okay.
I kind of have lunch with my lady friend and then lunch chat because she's in the station somewhere else. And then I just kind of start my day late. So, but in the morning I get up and I read and I just work on some writing projects I'm working on. And then just kind of chill a little bit, and then in the afternoon I start engaging with folks.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you like my second engagement today? I had a 1 o'clock appointment already, so I just knocked out that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
That's
pretty good.
awesome.
They started pretty good. I like
So,
my
so
day,
you
my schedule, man.
so you said you've been reading like what are you reading currently right now?
So I listen to books now.
Okay.
So I'm almost listening to books. So I am currently I have two books I'm working on right now because I have this the 100 book a year challenge I'm working on right now. I have so let me give you the story. So I started this book project to read 100 books a year, 1,000 books in 10 years. So I'm on my last year. So I should finish my 10 year in 2026 to get to a
Mm-hmm.
thousand books. So I'm listening to a book called The Partnership. Um, and I'm also listening to it. I'm listening to two books at a time. That one's kind of long. I was like, man, that book is too long, right? But it's. I recently started it. It's called A Partnership, and I'm also listening to one called Drive. So those two pretty boring right now, but I already started them, so I got to finish them. So that's my one thing I told my brain. Like when I start something, I got to finish it. Doesn't matter how boring it is.
Yeah,
So those two books I'm working on right now.
that's awesome though. But you said 1,000 books by the end of 2026.
Well, well, I started 2016. So
Okay.
it's so only I only need to 100. I need to do 100 books this year.
Mm,
Um, um, I need to 100. Yeah, I need to 100 book this year. Yeah.
that is pretty good. Now, since you started in 2016,
hmm
is there a specific book that just came to your mind right now that you're like, yeah, that one was like really good.
Oh, man. But my favorite author out of all of this journey is Dan Sullivan.
He's good.
Yes, you listen to him too, huh?
Oh yeah. Like as soon as you said his name, a book that I read came to mind. He
Mhm.
was not the author, but he was like the co-author that gave this author like the information and
You
everything.
talking about Benjamin P. Hardy? Doctor
Yes,
Man?
yes.
Which
Yeah,
which
Dr.
which which
Benjamin.
book
Yeah,
which book are you talking about? Who not how? 10 inches
exactly.
faster than who not
Who
how?
not how.
That is one of my favorite too.
Why is that one your favorite, Asher?
Because that's one of my favorite because it has a lot of different microcosm in it, right? Because when I think about delegation and the stuff we do in the military and trying to figure out how life works, and when I think about the who and how, I notice I've been doing it my whole life. That's when it breaks up when I listen about. Because my dad was a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad used to have us do a lot of things. So early in my years, I used to organize people to help me with the how. So instead of me carrying stuff on my head from the hills to the town the whole time, I go riding my friends. Like, hey man, we going to the mountains. My dad said I gotta bring down these bags of potatoes this weekend. I need help because I don't want to make 5 trips. Can you guys help me out? And they were like, sure. I'm like, you can get some potatoes for yourself too, right? So then I figure out the how. Even in school, my biggest thing in school, I was suck at taking tests. Like my biggest failure in life, come around taking tests. I wasn't a good test taker, but I learned how to cheat. I was like, hey, Brody, you help me with the answers. I'll supplement you later on. But all of my life, I've been figuring out how to the who versus the how, because sometimes the how is very complicated, very difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I know how to organize people, and that was the who and the how concept come to life. I'm like, oh yeah. Instead of me thinking about how I'm gonna do this, I figure who can do this for me, or who can help me do this. And that how it's been a thing. Even in the military, same thing. I was always good at building teams. because I think about the who. I'm like, oh man, I'm not trying to study this thing for the longest. It's gonna take me hours. I know this person. I'm very sociable. I'm very cool. I
Mm-hmm.
can talk him into helping me, and it works my whole life. But when Dan someone break it down, I was like it's not about delegation. It's about finding somebody that's better at this thing than you, that have studied longer, and then you can go ahead and like, hey man, I'm not delegating you. I'm giving you because you're better than me at it. No shame here. You're better than me at that. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you spend more time doing it. It would take me 10 years to study to get a PhD in before I figure it out. I ain't got time for that. Can we work together?
Mm-hmm.
And that will come to life for me.
Man, I like everything that you just mentioned. Did anyone teach you those concepts, or you were just like, I'm just trying to have like an easier path or think smarter? Like how does that come about?
Because I always trying to find a lazy pad for everything. I mean, it's like one of
Mm-hmm.
my detriments, because I'm not like, um, um, well, I got tested for ADD in the military
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of gave me pills for that. But dyslexia is something that I studied and I read up on it. I'm like, oh man, this is speaking to me. This sounds just like me. So I need to get diagnosed for that stuff. But I realized what the categories under the umbrella fits me in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always thinking about the lazy path. Like, what is the easiest way to get this done? That's all my thinking. And because I've been thinking that way, because things were so hard in it, different areas learning it, I always think, what's the lazy path to this thing? And because of that thinking, I've realized that because I can't do it by myself, I gotta find other people to help me do it, which makes me a team builder,
Mm-hmm.
makes me sociable. You say, actually, a social butterfly. Yeah, I had to do it because without people's help, I would be stuck in a place I couldn't get nothing done because my brain doesn't think the same way stuff is laid out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That is so cool to hear how
Hmm.
you took your disadvantage, however you want to see that, and made it
Hmm.
positive. Because
Hmm.
when I found that book, my story is totally flopped.
Let me hear yours.
Because I come from Central America, right? Latino
Hmm.
family. And, not money or anything like that. My parents and my grandparents, all they were talking about was doing the work, putting the time and learning how to do it and mastering, doing all these things. And everything that I did, I always had to figure out how to do it myself because I didn't
Hmm.
need nobody else. That is pretty much how I started doing this life in everything, even in the military. I'm like, oh, that is a mission. I'll do it. I don't know how to do it, but I'll
Hmm.
figure it out. And of course, you put a team together. So I started learning how to put a team together, employing people to their best of their abilities to get the job done.
Hmm.
Now, when I read this book, I was already in finance, but I also have a business in real estate.
Hmm.
I know how to build things in real estate, like, changing or remodeling the bathroom and breaking down walls, putting back walls. I know how to do that. And when I was reading this book, one of my properties needed a full bathroom remodeled. It was time. And in my mind, I'm like, I know how to do it. Let me put a week aside and I can take care of that, right? I was reading this book and it says, no, do what you do best. Which at that point,
Hmm.
I'm a finance person. I know how to put numbers together. I know how to make plans for every single person and tailor them. So I'm like, okay, let me call three of my friends that are contractors. I called them up. They came to the house, and I'm like, hey, I need this bathroom fully remodeled. I don't want to do any of the work. I don't want to be part of the back and forth, like, oh, this broke down. You got to fix this. I don't want to know any of that. You get the job, you finish it
Hmm.
in a week, you turn the keys, and you're done. One person told me, oh, I can do it on, I can, so this was Sunday. He's like, I can start Wednesday because my schedule's pretty tight. The other one said Tuesday, and the other one said, well, I can start tomorrow. I'm like, you got the job. Whoever can start tomorrow, you got the job. And he was sending me pictures. He's about to send me pictures. Like, hey, let me send you pictures of the process. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with it. You are the experts. You do that, and I will work on my business. I totally forgot about the bathroom being remodeled that entire week because I was busy working. Friday, they called me. We're done. Come check it out
Mm.
and, give us the go ahead that we're done. I walked in, nothing of what I could have come up with. It was nice, tile everywhere, like custom doors. They made everything. I'm like, this was so nice. I paid them. I got a brand new bathroom remodel without stressing or thinking or wasting my time on that. And I made money on my finance business.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first time that I employed the concept of who, not how, from beginning to end. Since that point
Mm.
on, every person that I recognize the habits of wanting to do everything themselves, even if they have to go to school or they have to take some trainings or YouTube or anything, I'm like, read this book.
Yeah. I've been
That's all I
recommending that
do.
book a lot. And it could be that could be the organizing value of this conversation too. Our principle. It's like how to win at your strength, not your weakness. Because we spend a lot of time winning at our weaknesses. Or
Mm-hmm.
trying to win at our weaknesses, and it's been beating us down the whole time. Like, nah, B, I'm trying to win at my strength. What is your unique strength that you got? Like, just go work on that one and employ people to do the weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that a lot. I learned that from the book as well, as far as like figuring out. I think Dan Sullivan said something. I don't remember exactly, but he's saying like if you spend your whole time trying to be good at your weaknesses, you're gonna at the end of the day have a bunch of strong weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, something to that effect. But it's like you work so hard at being strong at your weaknesses that at the end of the day you're gonna have a bunch of strong weaknesses versus working on your strength and becoming masterful at your strength. And once
Mm-hmm.
I learned that, I'm like, yeah, I'm employing people now. Like that's why business got created. Bad news, good news. Bad habits, good habits. I mean, weakness and strengths. Like I'm not good at that. I'm employing somebody to do what I'm weak at, and
Yeah.
I focus on what I'm strong at. But you know what you're strong at. Most people do. Like it comes easy to you in your flow moment. Like time disappears when you're in it. But the other thing, frustration all day. But you battle
Mm-hmm.
with it versus like, let me find somebody that love this. I think I think her dad someone telling the story was like I think it was the lady that helped him clean his house or something like that, kept him organized. He's saying he's a person that's not organized, meaning that he makes a mess when he works, but somebody comes and clean up after. And I think he was talking to maybe the lady that was doing it. It was like, hey, do you like when I make all this mess? It was like, Mr. Sullivan, I don't know what I would expect each week, but I love this. Like, but when you make a mess, somebody's cleaning up. That's a job for them, and they love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So find people that love your weakness and just surround yourself with them, and they're gonna make you stronger.
Yeah. There's this guy. Is it Tom? It's not Tom Ford. Who's the one that designed or started or founded like the Ford Motors? What's his
Oh
name?
yeah,
Um, General.
I know what you're
No.
talking about
So
for Ford. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna come
So
to mind.
so so he was brought to court, right?
Mm-hmm,
And he's like, "How can you be so wealthy doing this, and you don't have like any degrees or you're not smart?"
mm-hmm,
And we're just asking him like dumb questions that he's like, everybody should know these questions. Like, who's the
mm-hmm,
senator? Who's the president? What's all these basic information. And then he stopped them. I'm not the smartest person. I don't know that because I am good at my business.
mm-hmm,
But I employ people that at a press of a button, I can summon them to my
mm-hmm,
presence and answer all the questions that you're asking me right now. That is what I do, and that's what I'm good at. Elon Musk, the same thing. He's like,
mm-hmm,
I know what I want, but I don't have time to go get all these PhDs and spend so much time researching and doing everything, being an expert at everything. I just hire the greatest minds in the world to get my vision started.
mm-hmm.
So I'm like, damn, leverage. That that's the
Yes.
that's the favorite word of people that are doing something that can
Mm-hmm,
change the world. Leverage people's
mm-hmm,
knowledge, people's times, people's everything. And I started doing that instead of me
mm-hmm.
trying to learn everything. I just leverage people's expertise, design a website. Here you go. I'm not a website designer, but I know someone that has 20 years of experience in website designing that can do it in
Mm-hmm.
seconds and make it to the standards of a huge company.
Mm.
And this is so
So
much
if I
fun.
actually, if I, so I'm glad we started on this book. Pretty good. So what other books come to mind that you think some of your favorite books out there that you just kind of let's talk books then since we
I
started on
love
books.
books. I love books. So two come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Limitless by Jim Kwik.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that book?
Yeah. I think I listened to that one too. Mm-hmm.
So that one, I really enjoyed it because before I thought that my mind was limited. I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste time on remembering people's names or people's phone numbers or people this because I don't want to run out of space. But this book taught me how to think faster, think better, and remember people's names, actually put my mind to work and have a limitless mind. I really enjoy that book. And since that book, I've been brushing my teeth with my opposite hand just
Ah.
because in the morning you want that restart. And if you do something
Mm-hmm.
with the hand, for example, that you're not proficient in, you're gonna be focused in the moment instead of with something that
Yes.
you're used to, and your mind is like, what problem do I have to fix? What schedule is this? What is that? What is the other? To be present with conversations that can lead into something better. So I think that's one of
Mm-hmm.
the books that I really liked. And another one that I just finished right now. It was so good. I finished it in 2 days. Like I was actually reading it.
Mm-hmm.
The Go Giver.
The Go Giver. I think
That
that sounds familiar. Let me
that
see if it's in
book,
my library.
yeah. So it's like a red uh face.
The
I
Go
forget the
Giver.
author's I forgot the author's name.
Yeah. Bob Burke and John David Mann. Yeah, actually, that one I finished it. It says finish here, but it's probably a couple times back. Ah, interesting.
So that
Mm.
right now is by far my favorite because a lot of the times I am not a receiver. What I mean by that
Mm-hmm.
is when people offer me gifts in any sort, like a hug is a gift, a smile is a gift, or actual physical gifts,
Mm-hmm.
I always said no because
Mm-hmm.
I felt like if I took it, I owed that person something later on. That's how I saw it. But this book
Mm-hmm.
talks about giving, but also being open to receiving because that is
Mm.
someone else trying to give, but if you're not able to receive, then they're not able to give. And there's five rules with that actually, let me see. I think I saved. Let me see. Where did I put them? Oh, here you go. So the five laws of stratospheric success. The
Mm-hmm.
first one, the law of value. Your true worth is determined how much more you give in value than you take in payment.
Mm.
The second one, the law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Number
Mm-hmm.
three, the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place others people's interests first.
Mm-hmm.
Four, the law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And the last one, the law of receptivity. The key of the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving.
Mm.
I have them right here.
Nice.
It was so good that I printed them out and I just put them like right on my wall so I can see them every single time because I do like to give. I am working on listening to people, the need that they have, and being able to connect them to people that can help. if I cannot help. Have that
Hmm.
abundant mentality of like, hey, Asher, you are this service, and if I have someone that needs that service, I'm like, hey, connect Asher and that person. Whatever service that happens, cool. But
Hmm.
also being able to receive when someone is trying to also give. So those are my two or top three books that I like. What about you? Who, not how, and who are the other two that just came to your mind?
Well, the one that came to my mind just now when you was talking about when you mentioned Ford,
Yep.
um, the book called The Gold by his name
So what's the name again?
is he The Gold. The Gold. The book is called The Gold by
Uh-huh.
Eliyahu Goldratt. I can and Jeff Cox. Anyway,
Okay.
that I listened to that book. It's like 11 hours, 12 hours long. But it's an older book, meaning that it's like the 1950s or whatever, mid time. But it's one where you industrialized time. But he the one that kind of capitalize on the bottleneck concept, right? Like find what the bottleneck is and then figure out how do you relieve that, right? But that book was so good, my man. That book was so good. I listened to it. It's like 11 hours. I listened to it like three times already. Let
Wow.
it play. I was like, man, this concept, this way of problem solving is just interesting, and the storytelling inside it was very interesting. So I think one of like it's up there with one of the top books for me, like up there in my top 10
Mm.
because of just how he walked through that problem and have the guy go solve the problem because these guys were like, general manager, all that stuff. They're going through that, like managing people, managing big equipment, going through the industrialized process. But it's a really good problem solving book. And
Okay.
he just put you in the story. So it was a really good one. That one is really good. I was like, oh man, I think I needed it because at the time I was just thinking about managing people, managing problems. And his way of thinking about it just makes me think about bottleneck. Like, well, you got to figure out what's the bottleneck, what's holding up the thing, and solve that. And find the next one,
Mm.
solve that. Find the next one, solve that. Find the next one, solve that. And that way of thinking was game changer too.
Mm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Now, what library do you use?
I use Audible right now.
Which one?
Audible by Amazon.
Oh, Audible?
Audible.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Have you
Hmm.
ever heard of, let me see, where is that at? Libby.
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 Yeah. So
It's
that,
also another Audible platform.
yes. So that is your local libraries. As a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
you have access to that for free, and you can just
Mm-hmm.
register to any library in your area or just any library as a whole. You can learn for the books, or you can look for the books, and if
Mm-hmm.
any library has it available, they will lend it to you. Like if you went to a library, they will lend it to you, and you can just
Mm-hmm.
listen to it. I think they give you like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and you gotta return it, but then you can take it back again,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Or is it physical movement or is it like digital? All digital.
Digital. It's all digital.
It's all digital.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's why I'm
Libby.
liking it, because when you mentioned that you only do Audible, I'm like, I do like
Mm-hmm.
Audible because every single time that I drive, I try to put in a book that is just
Mm-hmm.
there so I can listen to it because of uh what is Jim Rohn? He said,
Mm-hmm.
turn your car into a library.
Yes.
So I was like, huh. So I started putting in podcasts, like YouTube
Mm-hmm.
videos, like the summaries of books. Once
Mm-hmm.
I listen to the summary, I'm like, this is actually a really good. Then I order it and then I read it, or I get it on Audible, for example. But then a friend of mine, he's a 20-year veteran from the Marines. He
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Libby. He's like, hey, just go on Libby, and if they don't have it on there, then you can purchase it or something else. But Libby has it for free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. What is this book? Um, Alchemist. There's a 4 book or 3 book series. Mm. I forgot. And it's right here. Let me look it, or else that's gonna
Yeah.
drive me crazy. Give me 1 second.
Mm.
The Four Agreements.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on there like for free. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that was actually good. So I order the books and they're just sitting there because I know the concept of it. But just by having a physical copy, I am giving back to the author for providing this knowledge. And every single time that I see the cover, it reminds me of the information of that book. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
have my own library here of books that I really enjoy. So yeah, man. So
Mm.
the goal, what would be your third?
My third, and it won't be a book. It will be
Okay.
another author.
Okay.
So you mentioned Jim Rohn,
Yep.
and I like the folks that from that era too. The Earl Nightingale, and you heard Earl Nightingale.
Yeah.
He
No, I
has a
have
book
not.
called The Strangest Secret. He has a bunch of different one, but he mostly does audio because he was like a radio personality back in the 1950s too.
Okay.
And he has like I used to listen to him all the time, like I love his audio, like because I met his wife on Zoom. One of his pupil, his name is my public speaking coach right now. His name is Joel Weldon. He's in the 80s too right now, but he's a Hall of Fame speaker. But I remember I used to listen to Earl like every day, like night before I go to bed. He's playing in my ears, like all of his audio. I just listen to him a lot. And I remember I was watching this guy named Joe Polish on one of his podcasts, the Genius Network
Mm-hmm.
podcast, and he was talking to Joe Wennon on Joe's boat. They was having a conversation, and Joe was talking about, oh yeah, Earl Nightingale, he taught me a lot. We used to hang out before he passed away, whatever, and XYZ. And it was telling a story about how he wrote to Earl Nightingale, and Earl Nightingale wrote him back, and then they talk on the phone and they start connecting, whatever. And I was like, interesting. But then Joe was like, I have a public speaking coach program. I was like, I would love to talk to somebody that knew Earl Nightingale like personally. And then I signed up for his program, but then we started having conversation, and we just started talking back and forth. But Earl was the guy that was always in my ear. Like he's the one person I can like listen to at night. Him and this other guy Neville Goddard. I like Neville Goddard too. I read
Okay.
all these books too. But it's few people I can play before I go to bed at night. It just kind of like calms me down a little bit. And Earl Nightingale is one of those voice. And I was like, I want to
Mm-hmm.
be as great as Earl Nightingale on the radio, like with public speaking or just speaking in general. Because the way he speaks and his articulation, that man is just very articulate, very good. If you, I don't know if you listen to him, but it's really good. So
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the guys I like to listen to. So I listen to all his books. So anybody out there that's like the old school folks, Earl Nightingale is one of those folks for me. When it comes to like the spiritual piece, I listen to Neville Goddard. I like his books. He's pretty deep. Um,
Now, what about his speaking,
mhm.
other than articulation? Do you like about Earl?
I like his voice.
His voice.
I, I I
Is it
like
like
his.
calming?
Well, it's he has that solid voice that just
Mm-hmm.
just grab you, right? He has that kind of voice that gets you fired up, like, oh yeah, I hear it. He's a very clear speaker. And he's a guy that does script. He's a very scripted guy. So you read his script. And he did it where you don't even notice he's doing it because he's just doing it so well.
That is so
So
good.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Huh. I gotta check him out. Now, how is his wife? That you mentioned that you met over Zoom. Like, how was that interaction?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to her on the phone too, because she's because her and Joel Weldon, they're good friends. So when I was in Joel one of Joel coaching meeting we go to, I think he had like every month or so he has a coaching meeting. He brought her on to speak to us for a little bit because some of us are fans of her husband. And so we kind of talked. Me and her kind of got a little friendship a little bit. We kind of talked because I'm a big fan of Earl. So I was telling her all that stuff. Like, man, I listen to this guy. Every freaking piece of content of fan of Earl, I go, there, I get it. Because I just like his way of thinking.
Uh-huh.
So we just kind of chat a little bit. But yeah, she's older too. I think she has some little medical condition going on with her a little bit. Because she's old too. Like she's way up there in the age too, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Man. Now, how was the coaching program for you? Like, so
Oh,
because you mentioned like dyslexia and you had all these things, and
mm-hmm,
going into public speaking, it's
mm-hmm.
It's scary, I think. Like,
Bro,
how
check
is
this
the
out.
experience?
So even so in the military, right? So here's the thing. Well, public speaking. In the military, I mean, I left at senior rank, right?
Yeah.
And I can go in front and talk in front of people, give a sit rep, whatever, right? And I could speak that way. But when you're telling your story, it is a different kind of feeling because you
Hmm.
become very self-conscious. That means you start thinking about you all up in your head, and then you're not thinking about the people. So I had to figure out. So Coach Joe well and teach me like, okay, no one cares about the story unless you can make it about them. So you gotta flip it from the I to the you. The you practically gotta show up a lot. That means it can't be I did this, I did this. No, it's you did this, you're gonna learn this. Now I'm gonna teach you this, you're gonna learn this, right? So you can flip it to where it's about the audience, focus on the audience, then you become less subconscious. But when I was trying to tell my story, I was thinking about just me, me, me. I wasn't thinking about you. So if I can when I can flip
Hmm.
it, that's when I get it out of my head and start focusing on the audience. In the military, I'm briefing you on some operation or whatever. I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about the mission. So it was easy for me to communicate that way. But when I get in the public speaking and start trying to tell my story, I got wrapped up back into myself again. And it was very hard. And I started getting nervous. I started speaking too fast. Because I already speak, I'm already a fast speaker because I'm from Jamaica. I'm a fast speaking spot of Jamaica, right? So I speak very fast, but I got even faster in my speaking because I was very self-conscious about my talk, what I'm saying. So I had to work on. Also, I'm also into Toastmasters. I do a lot of Toastmasters. I
Oh,
meet every
nice.
Friday for my Toastmaster club.
What? How long
Yeah,
have you been doing
yeah.
Toastmasters?
Since 2021. Same time I started with public speaking with my coach
Yeah.
Joe Weldon. I started his program in 2021. He didn't want to tell me to do Toastmaster.
It's crazy that you mentioned that because I've been watching Toastmasters on YouTube, like the international
Uh
competitions.
huh.
And there's this one guy, I forget his name, but I think he's from India. And he
Mm-hmm.
talks about the
Smoking.
exact, yes.
You know what you're talking about? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's so good. And since that point on, I've watched that video so many times. And
Mm-hmm.
January, this January, I was at a networking event and there was this
Mm-hmm.
lady, probably like 75, 80 years old. She's a
Mm-hmm.
real estate brokerage. And when she stood up, the way that she communicated and explained what she did, like her pitch,
Mm-hmm.
and then she had a Toastmasters badge as well, right
Mm-hmm.
under her real estate name.
Mm-hmm.
When she finished, I got her business card. And then when I got home, I'm like, I want to get better at public speaking. So I gave her a call. I'm like, hey, Karen, I saw that you were Toastmasters. Is there a way that people can participate, join? Like, what is the process of doing that? She's like, yeah, come Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. We meet every single Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Just come by as a guest, see how we do business. And if you like it, maybe if you want to participate. Okay. So that was like the second week of January, and I've been going every single time. I redid my first icebreaker about three
Mm-hmm.
weeks ago. I've been participating on the timer, uh, and they wanted me to be the Toastmaster of the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you mention it, I'm like, okay, it seems like a lot more people have done this and are doing it. And it's a good family. It's a good family that they have. I was recently invited to a competition, like a speaking competition that they had. One of our
Mm-hmm.
members was going to participate. Actually, she actually won on
Mm-hmm.
the tall tales. On the tall tales. So she won that competition. I'm like, oh my God, that's so pretty cool. So, all right,
Mm-hmm.
my bad. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no.
So you
This
got
is
into
this is.
Toastmasters. What have you taken out from Toastmasters, Asher?
Oh man, listen. I've been in Toastmasters since 2021 because Joe Wellen was like, bro, because you say he's a Hall of Fame speaker, is alumni in Toastmasters. He's been in Toastmasters for 50 years, by the way, over 50 years. He's been in Toastmaster, and he shows up to his
Wow.
club. Whenever time he's in town, he says, "I go to my club." His club is in person. My club is online. It's on straight Zoom. We meet every Friday at noon Mountain Standard Time because my club is in Colorado,
Okay.
but I'm in Connecticut here. So it's 2 o'clock for me here, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I log in every day. So I was the club president for I think it was maybe a year. So we got a current president before that. So 3 presidents ago, or 2 presidents ago, yeah, 2 presidents ago, I was the president. Now I'm the vice president of membership, right? So I'm still active in the club. But it's been game changer because you talk about the roles, right? First thing, one of the biggest feedback I get in Toastmasters since I started, I'm still getting feedback today. Asher, slow down. Asher, slow down. Because it's something I gotta work on. Because I'm hyper.
Uh-huh.
And it's something that's like in my DNA. I gotta keep constantly think about it. When I'm speaking, I gotta slow down because when the idea is like strong, my accent gets strong and my speed up.
Mm-hmm.
So then I gotta figure out how do I slow down so people can kind of understand my depth. But my biggest takeaway from Toastmaster is figuring out how to tell my story without being all up in my head. Give me the confidence to go out and speak to people, right? Present, organize a meeting, run a meeting, not losing my shit when somebody start messing up, right? Because you're running like Toastmaster of the day, like you're running, you're the MC. You
Yeah.
know, gotta follow an agenda. The biggest part is understand how to speak within a limited period of time. Because something my coach always says, 60 words you never hear when you go to speak anywhere. Speak as long as you like. You never hear that. They're gonna give you a time, and you gotta address your point within that window. 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever that block of time is. You gotta figure out how much time you gotta speak and what you're gonna present in that block of window. Because most people are long-winded,
Yeah.
and if you don't give them a timer, they would talk forever or they speak too short.
And talking about timers, that is something that I think I really like about Toastmasters,
Hmm.
that they're very structured. They start at
Yes.
11:30, they finish at 12:30. It doesn't matter how long people overshoot their message or undershoot, they always finish on time. So I'm like, ooh, I like that because I'm a person that likes to be on time for everything.
Hmm.
Like the
Hmm.
military, the structure, be 15 minutes before 15 minutes before 15 minutes. And now the E1s are like 3 hours, early. And then the sergeant major comes and he's like, why are you guys here so early? Right? That was the thing
Hmm.
in how the red, the yellow, and the
Hmm.
green are being
Hmm.
raised. It's like, hey, you have 3
Hmm.
minutes, and then at 4, and then at 5, it's red. You have 30 seconds to close out and wrap whatever your
Hmm.
message is. I really like that because it gets you to that rhythm of using the right words, the right
Hmm.
pauses to give your message to people so they can be like, I really understand it. Instead of, oh yeah, the fly was passing by and then it came back and then it just went back again and blah 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 blah. He's like, yeah, and I saw it. You're like,
Hmm.
okay, right? So you lose people. So I like that.
It also shows up in my writing when I'm writing because you gotta figure out. So I'm all about storytelling. So there's a part of writing where you can teach or you can storytell.
Mm-hmm.
If you master that storytelling, you can skip the teaching. Why? Because the story teach you while you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
So the master writers are the people that can put you in the story, have you experience the experience without teaching you after the story. So
Yeah.
then if your story is strong enough, you can skip the teaching part after it. You're going to focus on storytelling. And the beautiful thing about storytelling is that if I say, imagine being something I use for my parents, like imagine being a modern day mother. Imagine being 34 years old and already have 9 kids. Just imagine that. The woman like, okay, 34 years old, already have 9 kids. Just imagine that. At the age of 34, my mother already have 9 kids. Just imagine that. But you win the story. You being a mother at 34, having 9 kids. You can think about it if you were a mother. All right. Imagine being a modern day father. Imagine that having 9 kids without formal education. Just imagine that. Like growing up, my father didn't go to school. because he lost both his parents by the age of 10. Didn't go to
Mm-hmm.
school. But guess what? That man figured life out. Raised 9 kids without a formal education. But you're in the story.
Yeah.
Like, you're my dad without a formal education with 9 kids to raise and taking care of them, being a farmer, tilling the soil, understanding the moon cycle, like just understanding how life works.
Mm-hmm.
But some of that stuff you don't need it from a textbook, right?
Yeah.
You just need to understand how life works. And a lot of us are textbook expert, but not life expert. And when it's time to tell your story, how are you going to tell it and put people in it, and they learn the lesson without you trying to teach them step by step, block by block. I learned that just by going to Toastmasters, trying to share my story, trying to connect with people, trying to put them in it, because that's the one that they take away. Like, I don't need you to teach me step one, step two, step three. I was in the story, I felt it. And the feeling is what people walk away with.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that. I can go tomorrow, I'm still feeling it because I'm in your story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm,
that is something very true that you mentioned because we can hear a lot, but we can forget. But whatever we feel, however, someone, the storyteller, our friends, our mom, anything, the way they tell us something and we feel it, that feeling lasts forever. It's like I don't even remember what she said, but I still remember how she made me feel.
bingo. And the great
Mhm.
storytellers are the one that can do that. That's why I like Earl Nightingale. I like Dan Sullivan. I like Neville Goddard because feeling. I never got one of his favorite quote that says, "Feeling is the secret to creation."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Without the feel, like whatever you feel is what you're gonna create from. So if you feel angry and sad, the world you create is gonna be an angry and sad world because
Yeah.
you're gonna create from that feeling. And if we understand how powerful that is, we're not talking about just emotional up and down. I'm talking about that feel, like you felt it, like when something like I felt that. You're gonna create from that feeling deeply.
And going from that feeling, when you receive it,
Hmm.
it's because the person saying it also feels that. Like that
Hmm.
story that they're sharing, the feeling when they share it, and the other person receiving it can also feel,
Hmm.
I think that's when magic happens.
100%. I think every day we wake up, every day we wake up, we're chasing the feel. Like, just imagine being numbed, like a lot of your five senses are turned off. What would be left there? It's the inner feeling. Because I'm going deep with you right now because
Let's do it.
I feel like this needs to. But you ever thought about when you close your eyes? Have you ever thought about in your dreams? All your senses pretty much they are turned low, but you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling stuff, everything in your dreams. Like you're still feeling the thing. Does it need your five senses externally? Because they're inside of you, right? You feel that because it's inside of you. You don't need your eyes to see when you're dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to hear you don't need to ear your ears to ear when you're in your dream, but it's still working. Why is that? That's one of the big questions I play with every day sometimes. Like internally, you don't like I think Myron Golden says we don't see with our eyes, we see with our minds.
Yeah.
If your mind is blind, your eyes are also blind too. And
Mm-hmm.
like Dan Sullivan says, your eyes only see and your ears only hear what your brain is looking for. So until that
Ooh.
stuff is triggered on the inside, then everything is you blind to.
And I
Hmm.
like that you mentioned that because whatever our subconscious mind is aware of, that's what you see.
Hmm. That's what you see.
And it's crazy
100%.
that a lot of us don't think that way. For example, you wake up in the morning trying to rush to the bathroom, the lights are just off, and you're like, I cannot even find my sandals, but I got to go to the bathroom. And then you just
Hmm.
go like barefooted, but then you hit just straight your foot into the corner of your bed. From that point on, you're like, oh my God, I hate this. And you start feeling a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and you start attracting all the same actions throughout your entire day if you don't get over it.
Yes.
Because there's this one exercise. I don't remember who did it, but let me see. 60 by 60 by 24. Okay. Let me tell you this, Asher. If I was to give you $100,
Mm-hmm.
just $100 to you, would you take it?
You give me $100, I'm taking $100.
You're
Yeah.
taking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's just say I'm giving you $86,000, 400. That's your total. That's your total, right? Including the $100, that's your total, 86,400. And if I take $100 away from it, would you still keep the 86,300 that I already gave you minus the 100?
Mm-hmm.
You would, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's 86,400 seconds in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we have a split 100 seconds of bad timing, of pain, of something negative that happens. And instead of just spending that amount of time, 100 seconds out of the day, cussing, doing anything for 100 seconds, we take it and we make our 86,400 seconds experience the same thing that should have only lasted 100 seconds.
Mm.
A lot of
Yeah.
us do that. We wake up in the morning sometimes, and I used to do this, pick your phone up, there's a message. You're late to work, or you're fired, or you're X. And you're like, man, this just happened in your entire 86,400 seconds of the day. It's just downhill. When it should have just been, okay, why? Let me fix it. Just like you were saying, it's all problem solving. And let me take the other 86,300 seconds that I have left in the day to get myself back on my feet.
Mm. But we're stuck in the story of the 100 seconds, and we play it all day. But that is so true, because the story that keeps us stuck is the story that we stay with,
The one that we feel.
and it's the one that you feel. And the 100 second piece, it's pretty out there. It hits all the five senses. You stub your toe, you felt that. Somebody smack you in the face, somebody did something to you, cut you off in traffic, somebody yell at you, call you stupid, and you felt that for the rest of the day. Like, man, you just called me stupid. Well, they yelled stupid, and you turn around. That wasn't your name.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, stupid. And you're like, bro, that ain't my name, bro. But
That is
what?
so
Then you go
true.
like, this person called me stupid. Well, they wasn't talking to you. You just happened to turn around because you felt like you're stupid. So maybe that's you've been telling that story you've been stuck with. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid, and somebody said it, and you like take it personal. Well, that's what you've been thinking about yourself. You ever listen to people like, I ain't stupid, man. I ain't stupid. What if you keep saying that to yourself? I ain't stupid. Why you keep saying that to yourself? You might think you're stupid.
You're questioning it.
You're questioning it.
A lot of the times we let labels that are being placed by other people drive our lives.
100%.
Because,
Starting with that one, Luis Vega. Somebody gave you that one too.
yeah, starting with that.
Started with that one.
And it's crazy because our upbringing, our environment can develop into who Luis Vega is. But if I make changes along the way, if I change environments to the person that I want to become, then I am going to change. And I'm going to develop the Luis Vega that I am designing based on the affiliations that I'm putting myself into. because a lot of the times I hear a lot of my friends, because I was raised in LA, like Compton area, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
violence and all these things, and they're still there. They're
Mm-hmm.
still in that environment after so many years. And by luck or not luck, some of us change our environment. And then when others think of us or they see us in a better position and whatever that means, they're like, oh, yeah, you're just the one that lucky that got away or something. But I'm like, opportunities come and go. And we are made from opportunities, the ones we take, but also the ones that we do not take. Because this just reminded me of, because my parents used to take me to church every single Sunday. I was at church, and this one message stayed with me, and it still stuck with me. When there was like a flood, a huge flood, and the family was on top of the roof,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like God believers, and they're like, God save me. So there was like a canoe, be like, hey, hop on, let's go to safety. Be like, oh, no, 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 I'm waiting for God to save us. Okay, they left. God save us. Another canoe came by. Hey, hop on. Oh, no, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm waiting for God to save us. And then they drowned. When they got to God, they're like, hey, what happened? I believed in you so much. Why didn't you save us? I sent two canoes to help you guys. You guys didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
I was giving you guys an opportunity to live, but you guys didn't take it. Therefore, you guys suffer the consequences of coming here with me. And I have lived with that every single time. In the Marines, opportunities were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Some scary, like some are like, oh, I don't know if I'm qualified to do that. But what's the worst that could happen? I can have that experience, live it, learn as much as possible. And if it happens, if it works, it works. If not, at least I can say I gave it my best. And if it's for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's for me. If it's not for me, I'm like, hey, I gave it my all. That's not what I want to do. Let me do another one. But a lot of the times we let people that already experienced anything
Mm-hmm.
guide our own decisions when we don't know if that person gave it their all, and we are taking their word that it's not a thing that we should even try. So I'm like, hey, take other people's opinions, cool, but make your own opinion. Take your own experience. And if it works, it works. If it didn't work for them, did you ask, did they give it their all?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the times when we are challenged with something, we can move forward or we quit. That's the other two options that you have. And if I quit, I'll be like, Asher, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't join the Marines because, people are crazy, people are different. It's tough, right? And whatever. And then you would be like, yeah, you get scared. You're like, oh, yeah, I don't want it to be too tough. If you quit or you'd admit it, we start making all these stories, and that's why a lot of the times people die with an idea that would have been great, but they let someone else talk themselves out of it.
Mm. I heard this saying is that the folks that gonna talk bad about you, they're never doing better than you,
Oh yeah.
right? It's only the people like the person that's doing better than you will most likely gonna coach or mentor you. The person that's doing worse than you gonna talk bad about you. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like taking advice from somebody that quit the thing that you're trying. I would take advice from you. I take advice from somebody that started and finished it. The person that quit halfway in it, why would I take your advice? Why would I listen to you? You didn't see it through. And we miss that. And most of the people that are giving out advice sometimes, did you start that thing, finish it, or did you quit halfway in it and then trying to give advice about it? I want to listen to you, right? Because I listen to committed folks that start and finish. Hey man, I down the vine, or I decide I'm not going to do it because of X, Y, Z. But if I quit, I want to hear from you. Now, going back to the story piece that we trapped in, and I mentioned that Luis Vega is a logo for Louis, but the brand is Louis Story. So when we think about branding and the logo, people think the logo and the brand is the same thing. It's not. Logo is just a logo,
Mm-hmm.
but the brand is the story behind the logo. And we trapped in a story. That's why I like this guy named Seth Godin. And if you listen to him, I read a lot
Yeah.
of his books too. He's an awesome marketer. You should
You said
jump on
Seth
his
Golden?
Seth Godin, Sethgoidin, or D. Maybe it's two D in his name. But yeah, a
Okay.
bunch of books. Yeah, one called Purple Cow. You might have heard that book, but he's a really good marketer, great storyteller. But the idea on the story is the brand. So what is the story behind your name? Because the story is what people remember. They
Mm-hmm.
don't remember the logo. The logo is good. That like I remember Apple logo, but when you think about Apple, you don't think about just the Apple. You think about the story behind Apple, right? So what's the story behind your name? When somebody think about your name, what do they remember? Because that is your brand, and your brand is your story. And what story are you creating? And what story is stuck in your head? So a lot of that stuff I think about, like, I gotta build the story behind my name. Whatever my name means, I get to change the story behind it. At one point, Asher was this kind of guy. Next point, Asher is this kind of guy. Because I'm evolving. But I make sure I maintain the story. Because I
Mm-hmm.
control that, because that determines what the brand is, what people remember when they see my name is the story that comes to mind for them. Yeah. Man, this was a good chat, bro.
This is awesome. I took so much out of this conversation, starting with the two extra books that you shared and
Mm-hmm.
how those people can articulate not just the words that they're saying, but also that passion, that feeling towards the
Mm-hmm.
listener. And those are the
Mm-hmm.
people that we should be mimicking so we can start sharing our own story to others because we are the story and people follow people that they like, that they trust, and that have a mission, a passion of what they're trying to achieve. Man,
Mm.
this was so good.
Here's a third book for you then.
Let's do
It's
it.
called This is Strategy by Seth Godin. It's one of his recent books.
This strategy.
This is Strategy.
Okay.
Very good book, actually. Yeah, he's another good author to kind of have to your list. If you study marketing, like he's master at it, by the way.
Right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
my next book is about marketing. I forget
Mm,
the name of the book, but it's like something Augie something
mm.
that I don't know how the book is, but I've heard that it's really good. But I'll let you know how it goes. Now, I would like to interview you,
Mm-hmm,
like in the podcast and just have like this conversation again
mm-hmm,
on what you are passionate about, what you're giving back
mm-hmm,
to the community, how are you helping
mm-hmm,
it, and what struggles you have experienced, how you got out of them.
mm-hmm.
For those that are stuck, maybe with similar situations, they can figure out a way through your words.
Yeah, no, I'm down for it. Yeah, we can set it up. We can set it up, man.